Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks, and starting with DEERE and Co here, and on the daily chart here, I'm starting from this March low here. If we have a look back at the weekly chart here just for a moment, I haven't labeled it, so it's possible that this can be a wave 4 here in terms of the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, but it has pulled back quite a way. It's pulled back more like 60% rather than 40%, so it could be wave 1 and 2 here, and going up for a third wave, because it is looking quite powerful here, isn't it? So I'll just leave this as it is for the time being, and once this trend here tops out, as all trends do, they have a beginning, which is the building process, the middle, which is everybody piling into it, and then the ending process, which is higher up here. So once that finishes and moves back down, then we'll look to see if the move down is corrective or impulsive. I do have two counts for it as it stands in this particular trend, though. Not a big deal. One of them will come down to, well, this one here is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and up for 3 here. This one will bring it back to this previous wave 4 here, and the other one that I've got will just bring it back to the major level here, the 200 area through here, and then push higher from this point. But the main point takeaway here for this is that this trend is not complete. It still needs, as I mentioned, we've got the beginning of a trend, we've got the middle of the trend, and then we've got the end of the trend. So we haven't seen this ending process come into play. So on the 4-hour chart, it looks a little like this here. Well, from wave 2 here, counting it up as 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for the third wave, an A and a B and a C back for the fourth wave here, sitting on the 200 here, and then wave 5 to the upside for wave 3, back for wave 4, and then up for wave 5, which we can just move this over into this space here somewhat, probably even higher than that. The next medium level to the upside here is 250. And we've got a major level here, so we've got group 1 here, which is minor levels 1, 2 and 3. If we get support on top of 230, a tested support, then we can look at number 5 here. So the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and then back to the power of 10 again. So that's that stock. Let's have a look at the next stock, which will be DocuSign. This is the daily chart. I'm just taking it back to 2019 here, just looking at wave 1 and 2 here, and looking at all this as a third wave to the upside here as wave 3, and coming back for wave 4. So we still need wave 5 to play out with this market here. It's had a lovely run, and now it's in the drop off here is correct in part of a corrective move, and we would need to look at this here as just the first leg to the downside. The 38.2% retracement level in the wave 4 1 less degree will come in roughly where it is here for this, and let's look at that on, well, let's just we'll see a bounce here back up to the 50-60% mark, and then we'll see another 5 waves coming down through here. We know wave 4 can get complicated, but it should pretty much stick around this area through here. We'll become interested in this in wave C here once that completes, and we'll look to trade this to the upside here on the 4-hour chart. Here, looking a little bit like this, so we've got wave 3 here. It looks like an impulse wave to the downside here. That means we'll see a 3-wave corrective wave for wave B here that can test the medium level here, 250, and then another move down here for wave C of 4 here. So because we've got 5 waves here, we'll be looking for 3 waves here. It doesn't have to come all the way back up here. It's just a starting point. But this is where we become interested in this particular market stock at this point here. Alrighty, let's have a look at the next one. So this is a weekly chart here of Editas, which is a medical a medicine discovery phase pharmaceutical company based in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and it's also working with CRISPR as well. So this is a weekly chart here, and this is where it started back here. And the reason I'm just showing this, I haven't labeled this, but I've labeled the daily and and the 4-hour chart that we're working on, is because this particular move across here is a corrective pattern. Now, because it's got overlapping wave structures here, so the tops and the bottom, you could say that it's in a channel, but it's still an accumulation process. So that means that if this move here, which appears to be impulsive in terms of Elliott wave, then we will see a corrective move come into play here, and then we'll see this move up. So all of this here basically acts like a bit of a spring, really. And Richard Wyckoff's work, he was around in the times of Gann, and he was the one that got the relationship between price and volume. Definitely one of my favorites. And he would look at this here and say, unit for unit sideways here, squaring time, it would square with price going to the upside. So I believe it's got plenty of potential. We just need to get our timing right. So based on that, looking at the daily chart here and just really focusing in on the last part of it here. So it does appear that we're looking at a impulse wave to the upside, and from the low here to the high here, this is the 50 and the 61.8% retracement level. So we could look to go long above here, but we would need this to play out a little bit further with all of this. So it still has further to play out, so we're not interested in it just yet. And I was sort of looking at it like this. I know that's the high over here, but I was looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and all of this up for the third wave here, a fourth wave across, and then a fifth wave up through here. I've seen this spike before. If that didn't spike, then we would have stopped in this space just here. So it's just a better fit if I put it here, but I'm aware that that I could be wrong, but I've sensed that I'm okay with that. But we'll just see how this plays out. First of all, we'll need to see if we've got 1 and 2 here, nice strong third wave. We'll need the fourth and the fifth. Then we'll need the ABC here, and for the B wave, and down for the C wave. So we still need this to unfold. But in the meantime, if we get a move across this high or this high, well, then we'll definitely be going long for the longer term. Okay, but it's setting up, and we'll just keep an eye on it. But yeah, I really like this. We just got to get the timing right for it. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so ELBIT Systems here is a Israeli-based international defense electronics company engaged in a wide range of programs throughout the world. And we can see that we've had this really nice trend through here, but I'm thinking that we still have further to go within this trend, and this is just a correction. So let's just sort of focus in on this little area through here for the time being on the daily chart. So I'm thinking we've got wave 3, 4, and 5 here to make wave 3 up here, large wave 3 here on the daily chart. Now, there's a couple of things here I want to talk about. First of all, as wave 3 here, we can look at this as an A and a B and a C here for wave 4 and be finished with it. And then we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here for wave 1, and A and a B and a C back down here for wave 2. So if this plays out here in 5 waves down through here, and then gives me an impulse wave up here, and we find support on top of group 1 of 100, 10, 20, and 30. If we find support here, well, then we'll look to go long on that reference point high here, and then that would fit the whole wave count in that point. If this market just continues to move down through here, then I'll need to look at this here as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave back down into the 100 area here as wave 4. So I need to do some more work on this, but if this setup falls into place, well, then we'll look at taking it at that time. That's really about it at this point. This has definitely still got further to go down, because we can see we've got 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5, and there's good support here. We'll see that it has pulled down rather more than I would like from the top to the bottom here, as you know, it's more down at 90% rather than 60%. So there's a good chance that this can play out further down here for this. But let's just take one step at a time. We certainly don't have a setup here at this stage for a long trade, at least anyway. Okay, let's move along. Okay, this particular company here is not on my trading platform. My trading platform is a CFD platform, and because it's low price here, they don't have it on their platform. So I'm just using my basic charting program, the trading levels charting program. But the point here, this stock, EVOGENE, is a leading computational biology company. So obviously it's been not looking that good at this particular stage here. That's the stock code here, EVGN. But I like what it does, and it has made a bit of a move to the upside here. So what we're just going to do here is just to see if we get an impulse wave here first. So an impulse wave is 5 waves. So we can see that we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and this is all the third wave here, so we'll still need a fourth and a fifth wave to come into play. Because if we get 5 waves in the opposite direction, and the market has pulled back down through here, so if we get 5 waves in the opposite direction, then we're going to get an ABC correction, which would be this one over here, and then we're going to get another 5 waves up. So my thinking is we'll just keep it on the watch list, and if all of this top here develops in wave 3, 4 and 5 up here, and then has an A and a B and a C correction, then wave 1 here and wave 2, well, this is where we'll be looking to get in over here for this. So it has got a lot, you know, a fair bit of time to go, and it's got to prove itself. But let's just see if we get this impulse wave off the low here. If we get that, then we're going to get another strong move to the upside at that point. So we'll just keep it in the background. Nothing sort of happening here at the moment with it. Obviously it's moved up quite strongly, but we'll only be chasing the market at this point. And then if we chase it into the top here, we'll end up spending time here, and time is money. So that's not what we're looking for. Alrighty, so let's move on to the next stock, which is Faro Technologies. This is the weekly chart here for this particular stock, and the Elliott wave count for this is a little bit tricky. There's lots of things that I can see in here that I do understand, and what I can see is I'm looking at impulse waves to the upside here, and the same with this one here. And in this case here, over here, we're seeing corrective waves here. So we're looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. And now we're looking at further impulse waves here. So in terms of Elliott, this is not really a beautiful picture. It's pretty ugly, but I can see that we're getting corrective 3-wave structures to the downside and impulse waves to the upside. So in its own way, it's moving forward. Obviously, it's trying to get support or gain support on top of the 50 here. It couldn't get it here. First high above the level, couldn't really maintain it here, couldn't maintain it here. The question is it's looking, each time it's looking a little bit better, isn't it? So now we can start to use this here for this. It does look like we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up through here. So I do want to see a pullback in this, and we know that right at the moment we know that the NASDAQ and the S&P is a little bit weak at the moment, and well, even with the NASDAQ coming down this week from the top, we're looking at an impulse wave down from the top in the NASDAQ. So we're going to see a rally back up and then another 5 down this later in the week. So I'm making this video on the Sunday. You've got Labor Day on the Monday, but we should see some rallies coming in for Tuesday, Wednesday, and probably Thursday and Friday. We'll see it bearish again. So this stock is not quite ready yet as such. So I just really want to see how it plays out here. I can see we've got 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 the third wave, fourth wave, and the fifth wave through here. I just want to spend a little bit more time with this particular stock, but the takeaway here is that it's looking quite good. Now, it can also, from this point here, have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave back into this space here, or it may just take the top out through here. With the levels here, we've got 50 as the main support here. The next level up is 65. That's a medium level. And of course, beyond that is the next major level, which is 80 here. There are minor levels in between here. 72 is important through that space. But yeah, look, overall, I like this particular stock. So it basically provides 3D solutions for data capturing in 3D visualization of architecture, engineering and construction projects, and so on. So it's really sort of one of the companies that is a disruptor and an innovative stock, and that's what this list that I'm building of roughly 130. I've already weeded out about 3 or 4 of them, yeah, definitely on the cards for this one. Alrighty, so we're going to move on and have a look at Fate Therapeutics. So once again, this is also a weekly chart here for this, just to give us a bit of background. And like I said, I haven't labelled the longer term structures for all these 130 stocks that we're looking at. Well, some of them I have and most of them I haven't, and I will over as we move through over time. But this first run through on these 130 stocks that we're doing, which will take us through till the end of September, and once we've got those there, we'll start looking at which ones we can move into as such. But we can see that this particular stock here is really struggling. It's moved up quite nicely in this space, but it's also struggling. Well, when I say struggling, it's creeping. When markets start creeping to the top, and what I mean by that is that, say, this low here overlaps this one here, and then this one here overlaps this one here, which didn't even get very high enough here, and now it's rolling over. So markets do that when they find their tops. Obviously there's different ways a market can top out, but this we can see here that we're getting overlapping wave structures and it's creeping to the upside. So we do need a decent correction in this space here, and that's really what we're waiting for. So just looking at this on the daily chart here, I have labelled it a bit, okay. Yeah, I'm still not convinced about my count here. This can easily be moved over to here and having this fifth wave on here as well for this. So not quite sure about this just yet for this. So I'll just update that there for the moment. But what interests me at the moment is that it's struggling to stay on this major level here, which is 30. So $10, $20, $30 are all major levels, and then $50 is a major level. And I want to just see how this correction moves out. I mean, I do like a correction because that's where the next trend is going to come from. So that's where we can get in with this, but we need to consider this being the high here as such. But what sort of also interests me as well is that the move down through here appears to be in 3 waves. So that means that it's likely to be a wave 4 correction of some degree. But anyway, I'll spend some time with this here as time goes on. But this is also, because it fell quickly here, that means it's probably just the A wave here. So we're likely to see 5 waves down here and then 3 waves back up, and then something like this here. But it's just not ready yet for this. So we'll see the size of it and so on and so on, but it's not there yet. But anyway, we've got it on our list, and when it offers us a trade, then we'll be looking at it. But for now, it's just correcting, and we just need to give it some time. Alrighty, well, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in, much appreciated.